Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel with another video, not an episode review. Wow. Basically because of time constraints this week, I did not have time to watch the episode we were going to review, so instead I figured now would be a good opportunity to talk about some of the casting news and other bits that we've missed in the past couple of weeks. So
feel free to unsubscribe.
Yeah, and expect that after this video goes live, there will be another trailer.
For
sure. That's always the way it happens.
Something massive.
Yes, exactly. I've had a warning saying we have poor connection issues, so there could be some stuttering on either end today. So hopefully we can get through this as cleanly as possible. There's not really too much to talk about, but there's two big bits of casting for Doctor Who that we want to digest, I guess. The first one, which was the first bit of announcement, probably the biggest one, was Jonathan Groff of Glee fame.
Literally the worst character in Glee.
Has joined the show as a mysterious main character.
A character.
Is he a one-off? Is he a recurring character? Is he Captain Jack?
Yes.
Who knows? Well, first of all, I guess what are your thoughts on sort of Doctor Who getting this sort of big name actor? It's not the first time they've had big names, and they don't always work out. Looking at Simon Pegg in The Long Game as the first example that comes to mind. But this could be one of the best ones. What do you think of this casting announcement?
I think it's good. He's a very good actor. He's a very good performer, very good singer. If that's something they're going to lean into with him appearing, it depends what episode he's in. Either way, it's a very talented guy to kind of get. So I'm very excited to see what he kind of brings to his role. From what we saw with like the photos of him, maybe like some kind of period-esque kind of time. Mozart is like the big rumor based on the potato emoji post, because that's a kind of potato. So that would make sense, especially with the idea of maybe a musical episode being thrown around there and all of that. I think that ties in quite nicely, and I could very much see that being who he's playing. I think it's a pretty good choice to get for someone as musically inclined as Mozart is. Get a musically inclined man, and Jonathan Groff is that man. So I am intrigued and excited to see him pop up. It's going to be bizarre, a bizarre crossover to see King George III. It's not a huge surprise to see King George III in Doctor Who, because they go all over time and space. Particularly this actor, I guess, who portrayed George III. That's going to be interesting. As to, he's not Captain Jack. The smartest thing they can do. The smartest thing they can do is stay as far the fuck away from that character as they can for at least 15 years. So
at least.
They'll probably just find a way to kill the unkillable man, I imagine. I don't think it'll be Captain Jack just because he wore blue. He wore a long blue coat, so it must be Captain Jack. Classic Doctor Who fandom. Watch him be an absolute clown, and he's Captain Jack. If you want to, but I think that would be a waste of Jonathan Groff. Anyway, as to who he actually is, we'll see properly when whatever episode he's in airs. We've got 1 in 8 chance of getting it right. And if he's in it for more than one episode or not, I personally think it would just be like a 1 episode guest star.
Yeah, I think if he's playing Mozart, that'll be a one-off. He won't be recurring. But
it depends if it's a 2-part musical episode.
Well, that's the other thing, is that the first rumors of the musical episode came out when they were filming like in the 1960s clothing, and obviously that's quite far removed from the period outfits they were wearing in Jonathan Groff's pictures. So it could be that it's a 2-parter, or it could be that he's if he is appearing in the 60s one that carries over. Unless this whole series is going to be musical and they're just chasing.
Imagine it's an 8-part musical story.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. They're just chasing down. I've forgotten her name. Jinx Monsoon's
Jinx
character. I
Monsoon,
don't think they've announced the name.
No.
They're just chasing down her throughout the series in different musical styles. I think that would be quite a unique series, but
Be a bold move. I'll give him that.
yeah, but to do that right after you've with a new Doctor, the first thing, I don't think that'll happen. But you never know. Strange things have happened.
Certainly not a
They
whole
can
series
risk
of
it.
it for sure.
No.
But yeah,
but
we'll see.
yeah, I mean, if he's not, if he's playing a brand new character and not like a historical figure, I could see him sticking around for a couple of episodes. However, he's a big name. Can they keep him around long term? Can they get
we
him
haven't
back
seen
if
him
no
on
one's bringing
location
it back?
anywhere, so I feel like
No.
it's either a super secretive role or
Yeah,
he's kind of there maybe
he's
for like
the master.
He's the master, obviously. Yeah,
Obviously,
he's
that's
he's
the
either there
only-
for like one little sequence in the house,
Yeah.
and a couple of days of filming for his role, or he's the master. It's either.
Could you
or.
imagine it's just a cameo and he's just there in one scene and that's it.
I mean, that might be what it is.
It can be hilarious.
He's a busy
I find that
man.
funny. Yeah, I mean, I think he's been on set,
especially if it is
quite...
like they're chasing Jinx Monsoon as she's like trying to kidnap all these people. That's a lot of people to squeeze in if it is just a one episode. So it might just be like quick snippets.
We don't know.
You're not going to announce Jonathan Groff no matter how much he's in it, are you? So
no, it's true. But normally when they announce, it's because they think that they might get spotted filming. So it could be they have filmed fairly publicly. It's just no one's actually clocked where it is. Because it's quite strange to do that publicly when when it's like a year away from release, if that. But I think Jonathan Groff has been about in Cardiff for a while because he was a week or so after the announcement he was with Ncuti at the Beyonce concert. So,
that's why you said yes.
yeah. You just
Beyonce's there then. Yeah.
I might be able to win some money while I while I go to the concert. That'll work out quite well. But yeah, I think it's an interesting casting choice. He's obviously a big name. I refuse to believe that so many Doctor Who fans didn't know who he was, just because he was in.
Well, he's going to be a big name to certain circles, isn't he?
Yes, I know.
No one's as famous as people as their fans think.
Yeah, it's true, and maybe it's just me being in my circle, being like, how do you not know this because of things I see? But obviously, he's been in one of the highest grossing animated films of all time, admittedly animated, so you don't see him. But then Hamilton was such a big thing during lockdown in 2020 that I'm surprised people just didn't.
In certain circles, yes.
Yeah, again, in certain circles, but I feel
people that Disney Plus.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, or just TikTok at the time. But again,
they might not recognize him from that.
No, it's true, but I just assumed that those circles lined up a little bit more than they appear to have. But still, he's still a big name. Even if you don't know who he is, he's still a very big name.
Like Jinx Monsoon. I had no idea who she was.
Exactly.
But I'm not gonna be like, well, I didn't know her, so she's clearly not
famous. It's not important.
What is Drag Race? That's not a thing. Oh, is it? That's not a big thing. Oh, like how many people watch that? 5?
Yeah, exactly. Well, some people, hey. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think those are the two big casting announcements that we've had for this series so far. The biggest, I would say, those two. We've obviously had Gemma Redgrave back as Kate Stewart announced, and most recently we have Indira Varma. There you go. I think I said that right.
Someone else we haven't seen on set yet.
Exactly. Seemingly for the same episode. Well, exactly. In Indira Varma, she'll be familiar with fans of Doctor Who and its associated titles, as she played Susie Costello in Torchwood. I'm
sure you'll remember her.
1 and 2. Yes. Well, look, she was the one that shot herself in the first episode, which is fairly memorable. And then they bring her back with the glove, and then Gwen starts to have shot herself, and then that's it.
Then they kill her again.
They killed her twice.
And then Big Finish.
So therefore, yes, I forget she's in Big Finish. Everyone's in Big Finish.
That's true.
And if you haven't seen Torchwood, then she is the wife of Oberyn Martell, Pedro Pascal in Game of Thrones. She's the one that screams when he gets his head crushed.
Yes, everyone's favourite set of characters.
Yes, exactly. And obviously, most recently, she's been in Kenobi as well. Spoilers for Kenobi, she also got killed in that. So, whoopsie daisy. It's fine. I'm sure she'll be fine in this. But they have given her the title. They have called her the Duchess. And that was alluded to as well in Jonathan Groff's sort of announcement, like Beware the Duchess or something like that. So the implication is villain.
I would
I
say
mean, might
so.
not be, but I would say villain. I mean, what do you think of this casting? It's Russell going back to a pool of actors that he knows, literally ones that have worked in the show before, which has happened previously. But
Has it?
with
I
that,
noticed.
with never famously happened at least twice with
Just,
two big names.
just only every week.
Yeah, every week. Oh, have they been in it before?
Patrick Harris, sure, come on in.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of her sort of return to the show then? And do you think there'll be a reference to? It'd be hard to reference her being Susie, considering none of the characters in the episode would have known her as Susie. But
yeah, I doubt it. The people who watch Torchwood compared to number people who watch Doctor Who, it's not going to be like everyone who watched Doctor Who will also watch Torchwood.
Yes, because
certainly
when
not
it came out,
the episodes
people weren't
she
old
was in.
enough. Yes,
No, exactly
yeah.
that. And I think by Torchwood's end, she was kind of long history. So I'd be surprised if they reference it. Maybe there'll be like a tongue-in-cheek thing.
Her name will be the Duchess Susie Costello, or Susetta Costello, and I'll be like, oh my god, whoa.
Yeah, it'd be something like that, or like, she's a time lady and she disguises up as Susie or something. Maybe, but I'd be surprised because who would really remember her? But yeah, I think she's a good actress in some of the things that I've seen her in. So yeah, it's another cool, reliable get, I guess. Someone who is very familiar with the universe, certainly. So yeah, I do think it's interesting that they did kind of give us a name for the character, for her, whereas they haven't with others. So that's intriguing. I guess the Duchess is kind of vague enough to announce it.
Do you think the Duchess is a Time Lord? The Doctor, the Valeyard, the Master-esque?
I hope not. So
do you think it's just she's the Duchess the same way as the Witchfinders? King James. King James?
Alan Cumming.
That's it. The same way Alan Cumming was just like, oh, he's playing the King. Is it just sort of like she's going to be like the person that gets them all involved, or is she going to be just like a one and done villain?
Yes, probably. Again, she's busy. She gonna get, I don't know, she's gonna get parts in. Could it be season 2? That's definitely gonna happen, right?
Yep.
She can come back as a Force ghost or something. I don't know.
Just flashback.
But yeah, I'm very, very tired of someone's been cast. They must be a Time Lord or Time Lady. Come on. So I hope that's not the case. Especially, I mean, it's either going to be her or Jinx Monsoon or someone else that Mrs. Flood, that's Mrs. Blood,
the
Brian May's wife,
the old lady.
Yes, one of them is going to be a Time Lord or Time Lady, I imagine. But yeah, I hope it is just something a bit different and unique, especially since it would seemingly be the same episode that Jonathan Groff's in, which we don't know for sure is the musical one. That might be something else entirely. If so, what role would she play? And if it is a villainous role, we would assume Jinx Monsoon's also the villain of that episode. So, are they working together? Are they both the same Time Lady and they just regenerate halfway through?
Yeah,
who
maybe.
can say? So yeah, I mean, we don't know anything, do we? We just know her name. And it's a vague Time Lordy-esque title. You'd imagine a Time Lady calling themselves the Duchess. So I can see. Well, you don't even need to give them a name, and Doctor Who will be like, oh, it's a Time Lord. So even then, you have given them fuel to the fire, I guess, with the Duchess. But yeah, as ever, we don't really know much. But I do find it interesting that we have been told she is playing the Duchess, having already teased the Duchess with the previous announcement. So I guess that suggests a kind of hierarchy between her character and Jonathan Groff's character. So yeah, we'll see how it all unfolds, I guess. But yeah, it's another solid addition to the cast, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like these are both two guest cast announcements for the same episode as well, which is, I think quite strange, because normally if they do a guest cast, it's like in each episode. There's never normally 2 in 1. At least, there's never normally 2 in 1 with both of them knowing that they're guest cast. Sometimes in hindsight, you'll have more than one because the actor's gone on to whatever. But in this instance, it's quite strange. But again, that shows, I think, the draw of the show to start with.
Everyone
probably
wants to be
also-
in the musical episode of Doctor Who.
Well, yeah, exactly. It also probably shows the draw of Russell T Davies as well, because I think a lot of people in the industry like respect his writing and quite like his shows. So that helps to bring him. And also, most importantly, the Disney money.
Yeah, they've all
Sweet,
been in
sweet
Disney
Disney
things
money.
recently, and
Yes, yeah. They've
so
probably
that's
all got
probably
their
also
names.
influencing some of this casting.
Yeah, but
I'd imagine.
that's fine. If it means Doctor Who gets better actors, then by all means, go for it. But still, at the heart of the show, I think there should be the element of up and coming actors, which they have got with the Doctor and Ruby. I get if you still class Ncuti as up and coming. I guess you
Probably
kind
not
of
when
do
he's
at
in
the minute,
Barbie.
but it depends. I guess it depends how
Definitely,
big a
I'd
role
say
he has in
definitely
Barbie.
Ruby, but I
Yeah,
would
definitely.
say he probably moved on from Ncuti being up and coming
Yeah.
by now.
Yeah, but again, I guess it all depends on what you class as up and coming and experienced. But those are the two main things for the show. That's all for series 15. So that's not even the 60th stuff yet. So we've got loads of content coming out.
Series 15, blimey, they are casting it.
There are. Well, I don't know where we are now.
It
could be 15. It could be 15.
I think they are filming 14 and 15 back to back.
Because
what we're hearing.
Russell spoke in Doctor Who magazine saying that he was doing titles for series 15. So you never know. It could be.
They've been
15,
written at least.
but
I wouldn't be surprised because they still don't even seem to be slowing down on filming. So they haven't officially confirmed that, but all the other rumors that we've kind of gotten about production have turned out to be true. So it makes sense, especially if with like Ncuti Gatwa's career going the way it is, you kind of want to bank as many episodes with him as you can quickly.
Yes, before he has to go. But I think it's a common practice that if they know they're going to get more than one show, more than one series, that they'll just go
like
through.
Sweet
I think
Tooth
Andor was and I think Andor was pretty similar as well.
Yeah, I think so.
They're currently doing series 2 at the minute, amidst the writer's strike, but they still continued on from series 1. So there were some other things that was announced recently as well. Doomsday, yay! I feel like we're on this bandwagon train now. We spoke about it once. We've got to keep up to date.
I mean, we don't.
So, hey,
but at least there is an exciting thing.
Yes,
about this time.
Exactly.
They've done one good thing with it.
Yeah, literally. They announced sort of. I assume this is all of the content we're getting, but they might add more. But it seems like this is about it. 3 comics, one of which is has Missy in it.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Could be interesting.
That's the
also
thing,
coming out. Yeah, coming out soon. I think the first thing is actually the website. Thank you very much.
Oh, good. Check that out.
Yeah, and then it's the comics. They've got 2. It says 2 audios. Only one is by Big Finish, and the other one's like an audiobook thing, I think, which is quite strange. But sure, why not?
Do we know who's doing the audiobook? Is it the Doom woman?
Yeah, I think it's her. Because she was like the narrator or something, and it was only like 4 people in the cast. I think she was like 2 of them. So
okay.
So I don't know. Well, she played Doom. I think she played narrator as well. So it kind of worked out as whatever. And then a Big Finish audiobook, which was obviously a full cast kind of thing. 2 games, which I think are just events within the Lost in Time, the idol game.
Fuck, I'd forgotten about that game.
Right, yeah, exactly. 2 events in that one, so don't care about that. But the one thing that we do care about is the one book they announced called Extraction Point, featuring the 2nd Doctor, the 9th Doctor.
Start with the big news, Connor. We don't care about doctors.
And the mighty return of the Slitheen.
Yeah. This is the only thing I'm interested in all of Doomsday.
It is. I mean, nothing else has captured my imagination more than this. I think in the Big Finish box set, I think the Silents are making a return, and I think the Sidemen are also featuring at some point. Judging by the box art, I couldn't tell you what one they were in. So that could be interesting, and it'll be interesting to see what stories they have. But there's no doubt that the Slitheen making a triumphant return after what feels like decades. It probably is decades, at least 15 years, I think, something like that. Since they were last in it. If we count Sarah Jane Adventures, maybe it's been 12 years. But it's been a good long time. and I am very excited to see them return. It will be interesting. I think the last book I read with them in, the Slitheen Excursion, was quite fun. I really enjoyed that. So hopefully they keep the same vibes. Obviously, it's got the pairing of the Second Doctor and the Ninth Doctor, which I think is a very interesting pairing.
That is a cool pairing, I think.
And one that's not really been done before. Probably best done in a book form as well, because obviously one of them is no longer with us, and the other one doesn't want to do multi-doctor stories. Yeah, the other one doesn't want to do multi-doctor stories in any media, so they could probably get away with it in a
live action Doctor Who at all.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do anything like that, so it makes sense to put them in the book. It looks like they're going back to Satellite 5 as well, because for some reason Doom's doing this thing where she's got different contracts. She's still doing her assassin thing, even though she's got to find the Doctor. So she's going and she's assassinating people by the sound.
Finding the Doctor between all locations from 2005 to 2008, by any chance?
Exactly, yeah. At least one of them's in Satellite 5 where they have to find a ghost. I don't know. But yeah, it sounds interesting. Overall, if this is all there is for Doomsday, I saw one tweet saying, "Oh, you can get it all for like £77-ish, which is considerably cheaper than what Time Lord Victorious was."
Yeah.
But what do you think about Doomsday now that you kind of know exactly what it's going to be, pretty much?
I still don't really care. I'll check out the Slitheen book, by which I mean I'll borrow it from you when you're done.
Yep. Fair enough.
But apart from that, it's just not the kind of event that interests me at all, especially when I have zero monies. So, I will hope others can enjoy it, but I'm still not particularly interested. But hooray for Slitheen, it's about goddamn time.
Yes, it'll be interesting because it's supposed to be part of the 60th year, isn't it? It's supposed to be celebrating the 60 years of Doctor Who, so I'm sure there'll be different cameos and surprises in other things. But yeah, it's just very strange. I'm just surprised that they announced the Doom stuff first and not like they took this long to confirm what it was going to be. I don't know whether that's because they wanted to wait for the press to die down and they thought, oh, we've not launched this very well. Let's give it a minute to cool down and then we'll come in with the content. But it very much feels like if you kind of start with here's this coming out as part of this, it would be more welcoming rather than just a cryptic tease, I think. Yeah. But still, it could be the best thing we've ever read, and it could get rave reviews.
It could be,
and fair enough. But yeah, I think the audio. I'll only be interested in the books and the comics. I don't think I'll be able to do the audios. And I'm sure the comics will be on like $1.99 at Forbidden Planet in a year's time anyway. So we can probably pick them up there. I think that's about it. For Doctor Who news at the minute.
Until we finish this call and then they announce the big thing.
Wouldn't be surprised. It's coming up to 6 p.m, so who knows? But I mean, there's been other books announced. I think we just saw today that Doctor Who Origin Stories is getting a new edition. And I sort of went, why the hell are they getting a new edition? And there's a little sticker at the top that says new edition.
We're crowbarring these two in again.
Yeah, featuring a new story, and it's David Tennant and Catherine Tate. And I'm like, okay, did we need that? I mean, I've not read the book yet. I do want to.
Well, we're not getting any stories with them for the 60th, so I think it's nice.
No, yeah, it's true, but I just don't like. I'm interested in the book. I do want to read it, but there's so many of the characters there. I'm like, we already know their origin stories. How can you put in a story that's their origin story? Like Davros, Clara, even Catherine Tate and David Tennant. I don't know what story they're going to get.
Is it just the Renee Bright novelization?
Just a Target novelization.
We're not getting a Target novelization.
It's just
an exclusive Target novelization. You have to buy that book to get it.
But that's the thing, is that I don't know what it is, but I'm curious to see what it is. I'll hold off on buying it now until the new version comes out, because it just makes sense. But I'm all for it. There's a fair few companions in there that have origin stories. Clara's one of them. I think Amy's in there as well.
Amy, Jo Grant.
Yeah, so I think Ace might be in there.
Ace is in. I think is Martha in it.
Yeah, Martha's in there. So there's a few there that I'm kind of like, I don't know how you can do this. But I'm curious.
Yaz is in there. Yaz and Ryan. Yeah, Missy's in there for some reason.
Yeah. So
Heather Jane.
I mean, I guess you could you might be able to do a origin with
Davros.
Missy. Yeah. Missy might make sense because you can kind of it depends what they class as origin, But maybe they'll finally confirm where in that book it confirms where she sits in the Masters timeline.
Yeah.
Or at the end,
They
the
just
beginning,
low-key reveal it.
yeah. But yeah, that book should be interesting. Like I said, you can pick it already. It is already out, but a new edition is being published, I think, in a couple of months. I think it was like July. And the other big book news as well was the six novels, the
Yes.
decades, which is the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties, and 10s, with Doctors 4, 1, 4, 9, 10, 11,
12.
12. Was it 12 as well?
Yeah.
There you go. So interesting choice for all of them, with four new Who and 2 classic Who. They sound interesting. The covers look really nice. I will probably
The covers do look really nice.
I'll probably try and pick all of them up if I can, but I'm like probably other people. I'll probably prioritize the new Who Doctors. But that's just what I will. Which is probably why they've done 4 new Who ones and only 2 classic ones. For that reason, which is it's fair enough. 1 being the first and 4th being the most popular classic Who, it makes sense for them to do those ones. A bit of annoyance online that 13 didn't get one, and I pretty much agree, because she only got 3, 4 if you count Ace. If you count that, she deserves more books compared to the 4 that she got, more at least young adult ones, because I think she got a couple of like youth kid ones as well, but more please. Especially with the 60th, there's so much opportunity to do so many more books, and hopefully we will get more. And then obviously you've got the Target novels coming out as well later this year, some of which were delayed, but they all have the nice fancy new Doctor Who logo on them, which annoys me greatly because they've changed from what they were. But
they've changed from what they were. You've changed.
They've changed.
It's like I don't even know you anymore.
Exactly. But what can I do? I'm not in charge of the branding. Somebody else is. I think, though, that's it in terms of news. There wasn't much in Doctor Who magazine, I don't think. Just some more production notes and some drama about that and some trailer stuff. But unfortunately, nothing more, unless
I'm just looking it up.
No. Okay, then nothing more. Maybe we'll get a video game announcement.
Well, they announced the new yesterday. They announced the new 6th anniversary Big Finish thing. The next thing. Oh
yes, of course.
Sylvester McCoy and Davros. So
yeah, no AI on that cover.
No, thank God.
Because they did Big Finish. Fair play to them. I think backtracked on their AI art.
Good.
So that was good. I'm glad they did that. But
well done for doing the bare minimum. Big Finish.
I still can't afford that. So sorry.
No.
Not gonna be able to listen to them. I'll just read the synopsis or Twitter feedback when it comes out. So
yeah. Oh, well, it's kind of nice in the main show.
I did see that the audio version of Genesis of the Daleks was getting a bit of heat for being not that good.
Oh really?
I don't know why they redid it as an audio version, but they did. But it was getting a bit of criticism around just how it was done, and I don't think people really thought Tom Baker was great in it because he was obviously recording by himself and it just didn't work. But
and he's
interesting.
Like
well, yeah, that's what I thought. Come on now,
leave the poor man alone.
Oh yeah,
he's still doing this for you.
Yeah, but it is a strange choice that they would remake that in an audio.
Yeah.
I think they've announced like another one as well, and I'm like, you don't need
another one.
Of all the stuff you've got, do you need to do this? But fair enough, whatever they want to do. I guess it obviously doesn't take much of money to record someone talking into a mic. I can't imagine that's
we're doing it right now.
Well, exactly. I can't imagine that commands the same fee as appearing on camera, but
who knows?
I mean, Kate Winslet did it, so it can't be that expensive. If she's like, oh, here you go, But who knows? We'll find out when more come out and more people go, this is bad. Why did you do this? You should feel bad.
I already have my hot takes about Genesis of the Daleks, so I don't need to listen to the audio.
Yeah. That's a story for another time.
And that time is now. Sit down.
No.
Strap in. End of the call.
Yes, that'll be it, I think. For now, yeah, if any other news breaks in the next sort of week, obviously we'll attempt to come back and chat about it. But if not, we'll return in the future with our normal episode reviews as we head into the second half of Series 7. But yeah, that's it now. Bye bye.
Bye.